Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Ajay from Networkers Home Technical Team. So today we are going to see how to download and install Packet Tracer, as well as we are also going to see how you can do the basic setup and you can design basic topologies in the Cisco Packet Tracer. Okay, so before moving towards the Cisco Packet Tracer, let me give you a brief about Cisco Packet Tracer. So Cisco Packet Tracer is a simulation tool that is provided by Cisco Systems. Okay, and in this particular simulation tool, we can simulate the networking hardwares, like we are able to simulate the routers, we are able to simulate the switches and even firewalls. Okay, so if you talk about simulation, so simulation is just an imitation of your physical hardware. Okay, so that means you are able to imitate real computer networks in the Cisco Packet Tracer, and you are able to see the network design. Okay, as well as you are able to practice the command line as also. Okay, so what we can do is we can do the configurations in the devices like routers, switches. Okay, so we can do the configurations, we can run our configurations and see that whether or not our configurations are working properly or not, whether or not our networks will be stable after the configurations or not. So these all things we can do with the help of Packet Tracer. And Packet Tracer provides us with a very simple drag and drop UI, where we are able to just drag and drop the devices. So that means the number of devices you require, right? So whatever the number of devices, whether it's a router, switch, access point, firewall, whatever the things you require are all available in the Packet Tracer. Okay, you don't need to go for a physical hardware. Okay, so without the need of a physical hardware, we are able to practice the entire networking scenarios. We are able to run entire simulated networks completely. Okay, so that are major benefits of your Cisco Packet Tracer, and more of it I'll show you when we walk through the Cisco Packet Tracer configurations and setup. Okay, so now the first thing we are going to do is I'm going to show you how you can download and install it. Okay, so for downloading and installing it, first of all, let's come to my screen, and here what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up my browser. Once I open up my browser, here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type Cisco Packet Tracer. Okay, so once I say the Cisco Packet Tracer, so you can see I have the first link from the Cisco Networking Academy, which is netacad.com. Okay, and from here you can see I can go here to the NetAcad Legacy Network Academy, or else you can directly go here also, which is from the community, Cisco community. Okay, so let's go to the second link. Okay, so from here I'm going to go to the Legacy Network Academy, and to be like if I tell you, so this particular tool was created generally for the people who are learning about networking, like who want to practice the CCNA concepts. Okay, so for those people this particular simulation tool was designed. Okay, so now here once you open up the page here, directly you can see that we have the download Cisco Packet Tracer 8.2.2, which is the latest version of Cisco Packet Tracer. So I'm going to click here to download it, and it will require an account also. Okay, you are going to require an account here to download and install the Packet Tracer. Okay, so let's go for it, and you can see it's asking me to log in if I want to download the resources. Okay, so I'll just click on login here. Okay, so to download the Cisco Packet Tracer, you need to have a Cisco account. Okay, you need to have a Cisco Networking Academy account. So once you have the account, you will be able to download it for free and use it for free. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to type in my email. I already have an account. If you don't have an account, in that case you're going to go for sign up. Okay, so right now I'm not going for sign up, but let me walk you through what are the things that is going to ask you. So you have to give your country here. Okay, so you can type in your country. I'm going to type India here. State, so we are in Karnataka right now. Then year of birth, so you will be giving your year of birth. I'll randomly give anything, let's say not that one. Let's say I'll give 1998, and let's say I'll give it August. Then I'll say continue. Okay, so once I continue, you can see it's asking me about my first name, my last name, email. Okay, then it's asking me about my password, so I can set up my password also here. Okay, so these are the steps you are going to follow, and once you click on create account, it is going to send you an confirmation email. Okay, an email to activate your account. Okay, so once you get that email, you just click on the activate account button and your account will get activated. Okay, so once you sign up, you are allowed to log in there. Okay, so now I'm directly going for login. So here I'm going to say Ajay at networkershome.com. Okay, and I'm going to type in my password. Okay, so here I'm going to type in my password. Once I type my password, I'm going to click on login. Okay, so I'll say not now, I don't want to save it. Okay, so once you log in here, what you can do is you can scroll down, and now you can see we have the Cisco packet tracer. Okay, so this Cisco packet tracer, you can see it is available for almost all the operating system. You can talk about macOS, you can talk about Ubuntu, which is a Linux operating system, and then we have the Windows also. So right now my particular system is Windows, so I'm going to go and download it for Windows only. Okay, then second thing we can check here is about the system requirements. So you can see it requires a computer either with Windows 10 or 11, or it requires macOS 10 or 14 or newer, or it requires Ubuntu 20.04 or later versions. Okay, and a CPU is required, which is AMD 64-bit, and at least 4 GB of free RAM should be there, and 1.4 GB of free disk space should be there. So this is the minimum requirement of your Cisco packet tracer. Okay, so if you have this much amount of resources, you are good to go for downloading and installing the packet tracer, and you are good to practice with the network simulations and network topologies. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go and download it for Windows. I'm going to say packet tracer 8.2.2, okay, for Windows 64-bit. So I'll just click here and it will get downloaded. Okay, so you can see it's getting downloaded. So once it is downloaded, then what we are going to do, we are going to go and install it. Okay, so installation process is quite simple. Okay, not much complex if you are already aware of the Windows. Okay, so the features that I'll be showing you for packet tracer today, so might be you're already aware, but there might be some features which you might not be aware. Okay, like you can also work around the physical workspace. Okay, packet captures, all these things I'm going to show you in this particular video. Okay, so you can see here it's downloaded. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the download location, and I'm going to just double click and run this. Okay, so once I double click and run this particular packet tracer tool or the exe file, I'll say yes, I'll minimize it, I'll say I accept the agreement, next, then I'll install it in this location. If you want to change the install location, you can even change the install location as well. Okay, so you can see it says that around 566.1 MB of free space is required here. Okay, so I'm going to say next here, and Cisco packet tracer, create a desktop shortcut and install it. Okay, so now our Cisco packet tracer is getting installed. Okay, once it is installed, we are going to run the Cisco packet tracer, and we are going to see about the basic workaround. Okay, that how we can set up the basic topologies, how we can take up the devices and all. So all these things we are going to see. Okay, so it's almost done. Okay, so you can see it is almost installed, and now the installation is completed. So here it will automatically launch the Cisco packet tracer. I'll say finish. So this is going to start my packet tracer automatically. Okay, so let's wait for the packet tracer to come up. So it is going to ask you whether or not you would like to run a multi-user when the application start. So as of now, I'm a single user only. Okay, so I'll say no for it. Okay, so I'm going to say no. Okay, so once I say no, you can see my Cisco packet tracer is coming up. Okay, Now this is my Cisco Packet Tracer UI here. Okay, so here you can see this complete white space is what? It is our workspace. That means this is the place where we will be creating the topologies. Okay, now when you create the topology here, so like I said, this is having a drag and drop UI. Okay, so there are few ways we can take up the devices in the Cisco Packet Tracer, and we can use those devices. Okay, so first of all, let me do one thing. I'll walk you through, how to take up the devices in the Cisco Packet Tracer. Okay, and some basic configurations I'm going to show you. Okay, so for an example, first of all, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that how to take the devices. Okay, so let's say here what I'm going to do is here I have multiple series of routers. Okay, so these routers can be accessed through these network devices part. So if I click on network devices, here at the bottom it will show me all the network devices. I have routers, I have switches, hubs, then I have wireless devices, I have security devices, and I have even WAN emulations, right? So all these things are there. Let's say first thing I need is router, and here I can see different models of the router. Okay, so any of these models, let's say as per your requirement, you can take it inside your workspace and you can start practicing it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of the router, let's say 2911. So I'll just click on it and I'll click in the workspace, and you can see I can easily take the router. Okay, now what, once I have taken the router, if you want to take another router, just click on a router again click in the workspace. So this is how you can take the routers. So this is the one way. Second way is you can drag and drop. Like I can drag it, drop it here, I can drag it, I can drop it here. So like this I can take. So you can see we saw two ways, right? I saw that, okay, I can even go for drag and drop, and even I can go for click and click. That means I can click on the device and then I can click in the workspace and my device will be there, right? Okay, so this is the way. Now let's say what if you want to take multiple devices? Let's say a number of devices you want in your topology, maybe 5 routers and 5 switches or even more number. So in that case what? So in that scenario, what you can do is you can use a method like either you can just keep on dragging and dropping, or you can do what? You can keep on clicking and clicking on the device as well as clicking on the workspace. That is the one way, but that is the hard way, right? What is the easier way to do it? So the easier way to do it is what you are going to do is hit the control key. Okay, press the control key of your keyboard and you're going to click on the device. Okay, keep your control key pressed. Your control key should remain pressed while you're doing this. Okay, so keep the control key pressed and then you're going to select the device. Once you have selected the device, now you can leave the control key of your keyboard. That means now you don't need to press it, and simply you can start clicking in the workspace. So this time you can see I can take as many devices as I want. Okay, I can take as many devices as I want. So as many clicks I'll do in the workspace, that many devices I'm going to have. Okay, and once you're done with the devices, okay, once you are done with taking the devices or selection of the devices, then you can hit the escape key of your keyboard. Okay, just hit the escape key of your keyboard and your cursor will be back to your normal arrow. Okay, so this thing you can do. Now let's say there are too many devices, maybe I don't need that many devices. Okay, there is a possibility that maybe I don't need that many devices, I have used some extra devices right now, or I want to reduce the number of devices in my workspace. Okay, so what you can do here, you can see here at the top you have this cross icon, or simply you can press the delete key on your keyboard also. Okay, if you press the delete key on your keyboard, that is the same thing. Okay, so like if I do this thing, right, let me cancel it from here. Either I can click from here and you can see my cursor is now across. So my cursor is across, that means what? Now it is going to delete the devices. Okay, or if I press escape from here and if I hit the delete key in my keyboard, again it's the same thing. Okay, so now if you want to delete the devices, you can just select the device, delete, again select the device, delete, again select the device, delete. Okay, so this way you can delete the devices. And if you want to delete all the devices or multiple devices all at once, so what you can do, just keep your arrow key, okay, and then select the devices that you want to delete, the number of devices that you want to delete. Okay, normally how we select multiple files in the Windows. Okay, so just press your left key of your mouse and then drag it and select all the devices. Once all your devices are selected, you can hit the delete key and you can delete. You can see, do you want to delete the 9 selected items? So you can see I have selected here 9 routers. Okay, so these will be deleted from here. Done. All right, so this is the way we can delete multiple devices. If you want to delete all the devices, I can just select all the devices all at once and I can hit the delete key. Okay, now once you are done with the task, okay, whether deleting or any of the task you are done with, so always press the escape key. This will bring your cursor back to the normal state. Okay, and let's say you want to just create a new project itself, so you can press the Control N key, or you can just walk to this file and you can say new. Both are the same thing. And right now I don't want to save any changes, so I'll say no, I don't want to save it. And again I have a phrase, new window. Okay, now what I'm going to do, let's go and design a basic topology. Okay, so let's say in my topology I have a router, okay, then I have a switch, and with the switch I will have few devices, maybe a router, maybe a switch, okay, or maybe a server, laptop. These kind of devices are connected to my switch, right? So let's do one thing. Let's try to design a very basic LAN environment here. So I'm going to take a router here. This is the router. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a switch. So you can see here I have routers, and second thing I have switches. I'll select the switch and I'll take this switch from here and drop it here. Okay, then after I'm going to take let's say I'm going to take a PC, a laptop, a server, these kind of devices I'm going to take. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to select the end devices here. And after selecting the end devices, let me take the PC. So I can select the PC, I can drop it here. I can select the laptop, I'll put it here. I'll select the server and I'll put it here. Okay, these are the devices I have taken. Now I have taken the devices, okay, but if I want to do any sort of configurations in the device, okay, or if I want this network these devices to work in a network, so I need interconnection between them, right? A network is what? The interconnection of 2 or more nodes. So here we have the devices, but there is no interconnection. So that means if you need the cables, so for the cables, you see this flash icon here, we will click on this flash icon. So if I click on the flash icon, you can see I have all the different types of cables here. Okay, I have my console cable, I have my copper straight through cable, I have my crossover cable. But you might say, how do I identify that, okay, which type of cable it is? So you can look at the name here, okay, in this part. So when I hover my mouse here, the name changes. Okay, so here this is my console cable, this is my copper straight through cable, then I have crossover cable, then I have fiber cable. So like that, all that cables are there, all these cables are there, and you can identify the type of cable. Okay, and you might already be aware, right, where the copper straight through cable is used, where the copper crossover cable is used, right? Okay, so let's do one thing. I'm going to make a connection here. Okay, so I'm going to select the straight through cable because I'm already aware and we already know that a straight through cable is used for connection between different type of devices. Okay, and a crossover cable is used between similar type of devices. Okay, so right now my router and my switch, they are different type of devices. So that means what type of cable is being used? The cable being used here is straight through cable. Okay, so I'm going to select the router here, and in this router you can see I have 3 gigabit Ethernet ports. So which port do I want to connect it in? So I'll select gigabit Ethernet 00 and I'll connect it to the fast Ethernet 01, and you see my cable is connected. Then I'm going to do what? I'm going to again take the copper cable, that is the straight through cable. I'll connect it to the second port of my switch and I'm going to connect it in the packet tracer. Then I'm going to take it again and I'm going to connect it to the third port and connect to the laptop. Then same process I'm going to do it for the server as well. I'll select it and connected. Now all my devices are connected. Okay, but you saw, right, that I had to select the cable multiple times. Then also I had to go and select, the ports every time. Okay, so if you don't want to select the cable every time, okay, like 4 cables I connected here, so I had to select the cable 4 times, correct? So if you don't want to do such kind of thing, in that case, what you can do, you can just go and select the cable with the control key. Okay, so let me show you. I'm just going to delete these cables right now. Okay, so all these cables are deleted. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the cable, but I don't want to select the cable every time. Okay, so what you can do here, you can hit the control key. First of all, press the escape, then press the control key of your keyboard, then select the cable and then connect it. So this time we don't have to select the cable every time. Okay, only the ports I have to select in the device, right? So again, I'll select the switch, select the port, select the PC, select the port. So you see, I don't have to select the cable. My cable is selected already. So now I can quickly connect all these 4 devices. Okay. So this is how I can connect. Okay. Now maybe that, okay, you don't want to do this kind of thing also, and you just want that, okay, the cable should be connected automatically in the correct port. Okay, you don't have to select the cable type or port type. So in packet tracer, this option is there, but in real scenarios, that option won't be there. Okay, like in packet tracer, we do have an option for auto cable. That means that will automatically select the type of cable as well as the type of port, that on which port the cable has to be connected. Okay, so those things in packet tracer, it can be done automatically, but in the real scenarios you don't have an option. Okay, so you must be aware between the things, right, that okay, whenever you connect different type of devices, you will use what, straight through cable, and when you connect same type of devices, you will use crossover cable. Although this particular thing is not very much used right now, because nowadays we use only one type of cable, that is straight through cable. Okay, because newer devices they support it, but older devices they didn't support it, and we had to go through the crossover and straight through concept. Okay, but still this concept might be there, because if you come across older series of devices, then might create a problem for you. Okay, all right. So here you see that for auto cable, you have this first flash icon again. Okay, so if you press control key and select the flash icon, you see what it says. It says automatically, if you take a look here, it says automatically choose the connection type. Okay, so I'll press the control key, I'll select it, and now you will see I don't even have to select the ports. The ports, the type of cable, everything is selected automatically. See here. So like this, these things are selected automatically. The cable type is selected automatically, that whether straight through or crossover cable needed, as well as the port, that on which port it has to be connected, that is also automatically selected. Okay, so this is how we can connect it. Okay, now few changes if you want to make, like we can want, like maybe you want a cleaner topology. So what you can do here, that if you take a look here, right, so we have the name of the device, right, model of the device, as well as the name of the device. So you might not see, like you might not want to see all these informations here. Okay, so if you don't want to see all these informations here, what you can do is you can go to options. Here you can go to the preference. Okay, once you go to the preference, you can say show device model labels. So if you don't want to show the model of the devices, you can just uncheck this box, and you will see now we don't have the device model. Okay, because the commands that we are going to use in the Cisco packet tracer and for practicing CCNA, that is almost the same in all the routers, irrespective of the models, right? If it is the Cisco IOs, generally they are going to be the same commands. Okay, so this is one thing we have changed here, that earlier we used to see model as well as what, name. So name I want because I want to represent it in my topology, whatever the device. Second thing, model. So model is something, let's say I don't want to see, so I can just uncheck this box and I will not see the model here. Okay, now next thing is what, that maybe if you take a look here, So I have very small names for these devices, right? And maybe, you know, the things are very small here. So if you want to increase the size of this application, okay, so entire application size itself you can increase. Just go to the options, again go to the preference, okay. And if you go to the font, so in the font, do you see here application size? So we can go and increase the application size. Maybe let's say I will make it something like 10. And if I apply, you will see my application size has increased. Okay. So you might not see significant difference. So if you want to notice it, I can increase it to, let's say, 16. And now you will see some significant difference here. Okay. So my application size has increased here. So whatever you are comfortable in, you know, according to your viewpoint, you can change it. I'll just keep it, let's say 11 or 10. Okay. So I guess 11 should be fine for me. So I'll close it. Now I have increased the application size. Okay. Next thing, we can access the devices. We can work on the CLI of the devices. So Packet Tracer provides us with the option that we can work on the device CLI. Okay. So how we can do it? So let's say this is the router and I'll just click on this router, and here we directly get an option for CLI. And here you can look at the physical appearance of the device, that this particular model, how does it look like in physical? Okay. So if I want, I can just full screen it and I can zoom in it. So I will have a better look at the device that, okay, this is Cisco 2900 series and this is the router. Here is the power option. You can see this is power on and off button. So when you see this green line right now, when you see the green light here, that means the device is on, and if I want, I can turn it off, and you can see my green light is off. Okay, so again, if you want, again you can turn it on and you can see my light is green. Okay. And if I go at the CLI, so right now you will see that my CLI text, it's very small. Okay. The CLI text right now is very small. So let's say you don't want the text to be small. Okay. You want that the text should be what? It should be large, because it's, you know, it is going to put a lot of pressure on your eyes to read it, right? So you can change the color also, you can change the font also, you can change the text size also. These kind of things we can do. So how you're going to change it? Let me just close it from here. Again, I'll go to the options and preference. Then you'll go to the font. Inside the font, you can see that for CLI, this is my font, Courier New. So if I want to change it, so I have two options. So either of them I can use. Second thing, increase the size. So let's say you can increase the size from here. Maybe I'm more comfortable in 14 size. So I'll go for the 14. Okay. Then if you want to change the background, so right now you can see the text is black and the router IO's background is white. So maybe you are interested in some other colors. Maybe let's say, for example, what I prefer is like black background and white text. Just click on apply. Okay. So once I apply it, I'll just close it. And now you will see that when I take a look at the CLI, it's much better. Okay. Easy for me to read. So now I can start working on these devices. You know, I can start working on the device. I can issue commands. I can do the basic configurations, and I can simulate my entire network here itself. Okay. So these are the things we can do here. So let me close it. Now, as of now, what you see here, that this is my logical topology. This is my logical topology, but how the devices are connected in physical topology then. Okay. So if you want to look at the physical view of this topology, right? If you want to look at the physical view of this topology, so you can move on towards this physical. This is a logical workspace where you see the logical topology. And then we have the physical workspace where we can look at the physical topology. So if I click on the physical topology, do you see it shows me that, okay, right now we are in the home city. If I click here, we do have a corporate office here. Inside the corporate office, then I have the main wiring closet. And if I take a look at the main wiring closet, you can see this is how my devices are connected. Okay. So I can zoom in here. So in this, you can see I have my power distribution device, and there are 3 power cables connected, one for the router, another one for the switch and another one for the server. Okay, so you can see other than my PC and laptop, my devices are mounted inside the rack. Okay, so also physically you can see that, okay, this is the router first of all. Okay, here what you see is the router, then what I see here is the switch, and then I have the server. Okay, so you can see like on which port what is connected. So here this is the cable. If I hover my mouse here, this will show you that the source device is what, router, and the destination device is the switch. So the cable is connected between the router and the switch. Okay, then it says source port number and destination port number. So if you take a look at the source port number and destination port number, so source port number is gigabit Ethernet 0/0, which is the router's port number, and destination port number is what, fast Ethernet 0/1, which is the switch's port number. Okay, then also it is going to give you information about the cable type, that the cable type is what, copper straight through cable it is. Okay, so this is how we can get the information of the physical connectivity. Also we get an idea about the physical connectivity of the devices. Okay, now you can see like all the devices and all the physical connections are made. So you know what we see in the logical topology. Logical topology is telling us about the packet flow and all, that how the packets are traveling and everything, while your physical topology gives you information about actual device connections. Okay, that how the devices are actually connected. So you can see all my routers, switches and server, everything mounted inside the rack itself, while my laptop and PC, they were outside somewhere. Okay, so this is how we can take a look at the physical topology. Also we can look at the physical devices also. Okay, then we can also go back from here and also go back. Now let's say for example you are designing completely new topology. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say new, and I'll say I don't want to save it. Okay, and here you see I have an option for image, so I can click on this image. I'll say browse the image. Okay, and let's say I want to show you something related to, let's say I have multiple building network, maybe CAN network I have. Okay, maybe campus area network I have. So I can just click on this. This is a Cisco campus image. I can open it and I can, oh sorry, not reset, I had to apply it. Go to the city, campus, open, apply. Now you see here, this is the image. Okay, so let's say this is one Cisco campus. So from here also what we can do is we can start designing our network, that okay, in this here I have one router. Okay, then maybe one of the router is in my another Cisco building. Okay, then I have another router in this data center, for example. Okay, we can consider it as a data center, and then we can start providing connectivities between them. Okay, so just let me provide the connectivities. So from here to here, here to here, here to here, I have direct connectivities. Okay, and then inside them we do have the network. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that using the image also we can take a reference. Okay, and with the help of the reference we can start designing the networks. Okay, so then you can put up the switches and your devices in there. That is also going to work out. Okay, so this is another way we can use it, and again we can go in the physical topology. Inside the physical topology also we can use the images. Here as well we can use the images. Okay, you can browse an image, and again same images, same sort of images we can use here. Apply. So that will work here also. So I can say that okay, close it. I can drag and drop that okay, this is my corporate office network and all, and there I have a different network. So if you want different network there, you can just this is the generic container. We don't want a new building. See here, so I can just bring it here, and then another building I can bring. So what I'm trying to tell you is in both the cases, everywhere you can use the network. However you like, you can have these networks designed for you. Okay. So let's go back from here, go back to logical topology. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is that here, according to this, you can design the network. That is, a reference is given to you. Okay. And even you can start capturing the packets and all in the packet tracer. So there are more features about packet tracer, like you can capture the packets, you can look at the packet flow, you can look inside the packets. Okay. Those all things we are going to cover, but in the next video. Okay. So this is it for this video, and in the upcoming video also we are going to see about how you design the topology, how you do the basic configurations of the devices, okay, how you access the CLI of the devices. Okay, those all things we will see, and we are going to see about the packet flow, packet captures of the devices. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you found this video informative and helpful, do like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.